So the Memphis Grizzlies are definitely a team who I think a lot of people really did not expect to have quite a poor season, whether it's been the 888 million different type of injuries they've had, the Ja Morant suspension and the Ja Morant injury, and a couple other different things. It just really has not helped their season at all. But there are, of course, some positives with every season to do with certain NBA teams, and the Memphis Grizzlies not being an exception at all, as they've actually got a really big positive in terms of they actually still own their first round pick, which at the time of making this video will of course be the 7th overall pick. Again, as I'm making this video, we do not know the official draft lottery and what's going to be, happening with that. So we don't know who has risen, who has fallen. So again, at the time I'm making this video, the Grizzlies do have the 7th overall pick based off their standings, and that's where I will be selecting with them. Again, if you would like to see who I have all the other teams taking with all the other picks, I do highly recommend you guys go and check out my full 2024 mock draft, which I will have linked in the description down below. That's why, again, if you're wondering why I didn't take a certain player, it might have been because I did take that player with a higher pick to a different team. So I do highly recommend you guys go and check that out. But of course, again, without further ado, let's just get straight into it with who I think the Memphis Grizzlies should select if the 2024 NBA draft happened today. And now, with the 7th overall pick, we of course do have the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, again, the Grizzlies have had a very interesting year, which has earned them quite a high pick. And I actually think there's a really good player for them available with this selection. And that is, of course, Zach Edey, who has been absolutely awesome for quite a while now. Again, he just recently came off the March Madness championship game where he absolutely dominated. Again, unfortunately for him, was not able to get the win over UConn, but of course, I believe I saw somewhere where he scored like 62% of their points, and of course, I think it was like 37. This dude is an absolutely beast scorer, being a 7'4" center, who I think really does fit into this Grizzlies team. He also fills in the positional need that I think they do have based off center. It's really hard to know if Jaren Jackson Jr. will be a center in the NBA, or if he will remain as a power forward, as sometimes he's looked good at center so far this season for the Grizzlies, but other times it's like he's just, I don't really know. He definitely gets caught out by some certain centers, even though he's a really good interior defender. Again, Zach Edey is really, compared to a couple of really awesome players over the NBA's time, including Yao Ming, kind of being his ceiling. It's being said that he's like Yao Ming, just with less mobility, which I guess is a really kind of weird comparison. Again, obviously for Yao Ming's size and height, he was pretty mobile, but again, compared to other NBA players, not so much. It's being said that Edey has really nice hands and a good touch around the rim. He finishes extremely solid and has developed into being a really good free throw shooter, shooting over 70%. He's also not only 7'4", but he's an extremely big 7'4", being over 300 pounds, which is actually bigger than Boban Marjanovic, which to think is absolutely insane. He's also said to be one of the best defenders in the NBA, being able to clog any lane, and he alters absolutely every shot he sees. Again, watching him in some of these college games, this dude is an absolutely massive shot blocking machine. Like, if you are in a 10-meter radius from this guy, he will be absolutely huge and will block you so bad that it'll be an embarrassing and you'll end up on a highlight reel. One of the knocks on Zach Edey that I've heard some people say is he's, of course, obviously extremely good, at the college level. And I think this is the knock that I've got him taking at 7 with. Again, I'm seeing a lot of people have this guy go at like pick 3 in their mock draft. But some of the knocks have been said is, will he be able to fit in today's NBA, being so tall and being so big? Will he, of course, be able to do it? Again, he is not exactly the fastest guy out there, and will definitely not be able to get to the perimeter at all. But the realistic thing is, if you put this guy in, of course, in the paint, he will be absolutely dominant. And I really do look at a guy like this and I think, well, is there a guy out there in the NBA? And there's not exactly too many names, but a guy I know is, of course, being Rudy Gobert, who I think Rudy Gobert garnered that much hate that he actually ended up becoming underrated, and we've now seen what he has been able to do with Minnesota this, of course, most recent season. Again, I feel like Zach Edey is kind of like Rudy Gobert, where he can't exactly be that great of getting to the perimeter, but he is unstoppable when it comes to the paint and can also be a decent, I think, pick and roll player, which people don't talk about. Gobert is actually not that bad in, and people just think that Gobert has no offensive game whatsoever, which is just untrue. Again, Zach Edey is a huge guy who's definitely going to get a rebound when needed. He will be one of the best defenders, of course, in this whole entire draft. And we've seen he is an absolutely massive scoring machine, scoring, of course, 37 points in his most recent college game. So, look, I think having a guy like him with Jaren Jackson is so scary. Like, having both of those dudes as these really massive elite defenders will definitely be something that I think could actually work. And it's kind of what like Minnesota are doing right now with Cat and Gobert, and Cavs have done with Mobley and Allen. Lakers previously with, of course, Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee. This could definitely be the best out of, you know, all of them, if it does, of course, work well. Will he translate to the NBA? I'm not too sure. But this guy is putting double-doubles left, right, and center in college, 7'4", and an extremely good defender. So I guess you can only try, and I think with how Memphis have credited themselves with massive defensive teams over the past couple years, why not give it a go? So that's why I think this pick, of course, does make sense. So of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. What do you guys think about this mock draft? Do you guys like or do you guys not? Again, I highly recommend, like I said earlier, to go and check out my previous ones, which were linked in the description down below. Again, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and this one, of course, if you haven't already. Links for that gaming one will be in the description down below. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below, guys, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.